streaming. And Virginia, whenever you are ready to call the meeting to order, you can. I will just say, if you are here for the second application, the Martinstein and Price application, if you could just go ahead and turn your cameras off, that would be very helpful. All right, Virginia, we're ready when you are.
Okay, so I want to call to order this meeting of the Hillsborough Historic District Commission. Okay, I'm going to read the public charge to y'all in case you haven't heard it already. The community of Hillsborough, its respect. The commission asks members of the public to conduct themselves in a respectful, courteous manner with the commission members and with fellow community members. At any time, should any member of the commission or community fail to observe this public charge, the chair or the chair's designee will ask the offending person to leave the meeting until that individual regains personal control. Should decorum fail to be restored, the chair or the chair's designee will recess the meeting until such time that a genuine Wow. I don't think Jill used to read that. Anyway, that's fine. So now I need to do the roll call and confirmation of a quorum. It'll take just a second for me to scroll a little.
Virginia, you have been freezing a little bit.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, I have full bars. As long as you can hear me, that's what matters, right? Okay, so I'm going to call the roll and I guess just say present or here. Okay. Eric Altman.
Here.
Okay. Elizabeth Dicker.
Here.
Okay. Max Dowdle.
Here.
Okay.
No.
Megan Kimball.
Here.
Will Center.
Here.
Virginia, that's me. And Will Spoon.
Present.
Okay, good. I think we have a quorum. Yay. Stephanie.
Sorry, Virginia, you froze a little bit. Can you repeat that?
What comes next? The mission statement? Okay. Oh man, I gotta find that. I got it right here. Hang on, y'all. Oh.
Virginia, I can't tell if you're frozen. Are you there?
I am here.
Okay, I can read the mission statement for you if you'd like. I've got it right in my hand.
That would be great because I'm having trouble.
No problem.
That app.
All right, I'll read it for you. So the mission of the HDC is to identify, protect, and preserve Hillsborough's architectural resources and to educate the public about those resources and preservation in general. From the 1700s to the 1950s, the Hillsborough Historic District presents a visual history of Hillsborough's development, and it was for that reason in 1973, the town chose to respect the history through the passage of the Preservation Ordinance, creating the Historic District. You have a quasi-judicial role. The HDC hears evidence, determines relevant facts, and applies the law as it concerns exterior changes to or demolition of any properties, as well as new construction in the district.
Okay. Are there any agenda changes?
I have none.
Okay, me neither. All right. So the minutes from the last meeting, which was what,
That's September 1st.
anything about the minutes from the last meeting? Any changes or? Okay. So can somebody make a motion that we accept the minutes from September 1st? Okay, I move that we approve the minutes from September 1st.
Second.
Okay. Okay, now we have to have a roll call vote. Okay, Elizabeth,
Yes, I approve.
do you approve the minutes? We're having to take a roll call vote to accept or reject the minutes from September 1st.
Are you asking me again?
No, I'm asking Will.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh,
That's
yes.
okay. All right.
Or Will Spoon, yes.
Yes. Okay. Will Center, what about
Yes.
you? Okay. Megan.
Aye.
Okay. Eric.
Aye.
Max.
Yes.
Okay. And I say aye as well. So the minutes are approved. Okay. So now we go to new business. So there's a COA application for the mural at 109 East King Street. Is there anybody here to speak on behalf of this application?
Yes, we have Shannon Campbell and Dale Edwards here tonight, so they can turn their videos on. And would you guys like me to pull up the application on the screen, share the screen? Yes, okay.
Yeah, that'd be good. Or I can do it if I have share screen option.
I can share screen, but I'll do that just after the swear. Do you swear in at this point now, Virginia?
Yes, I think so.
Okay. Sorry, I'm a little rusty, y'all. So hang tight. Let's go ahead and do the swearing in, and then I'll share the screen and do the staff report. Virginia, do you do that?
Well, yeah.
I think she may be having some camera problems. So
Yeah, usually the chair does that, I think.
Yeah. Stephanie, are you going to keep track of who moves and who seconds and stuff like that?
yes, I'll record everything that happens tonight, so don't worry about that. We are having a little trouble with your camera, Virginia, cutting in and out, and not the camera, but like you're, going still for a second. So if there's a hesitation, I think that might be the reason. But you can just go ahead and run the meeting, and I'll record everything that happens tonight.
Okay, great. Okay, so now we do.
Hey, Virginia, you're frozen. You might want to turn your video off if that's allowed with the virtual rules. That might help your signal come through stronger.
Okay, good idea. How about now? I have all my bars.
I can hear you fine.
Yeah, I have all my bars. I don't know what's going on. I'll text the commissioner and see if he has a clue. Just a minute. Okay.
So I think, Virginia, we can hear you. If you want to go ahead and swear in Shannon Campbell and Dale Edwards so that they can speak.
I will. I'm sorry. I was just texting my support staff here at the house to come and help me with the video. Okay, Shannon, I don't have a script. Do you promise that the evidence you're going to give us is the truth?
Help me God.
Okay. Dale, do you promise that the evidence you're going to give is the truth?
Yes, I do.
Stephanie, is that sufficient?
Yeah, that's fine. We'll
Okay,
need a motion to open the public hearing.
Okay, so we need a motion to open. They still
I'll
can't
move.
see me. The public hearing. Okay, who moved?
Megan.
Oh, thank you. Okay, who wants to second?
Second.
Okay. Just a second, I have to consult my IT guy. So at Will's suggestion, I turned off my video. They feel like they're getting a weak signal from me and I keep freezing.
Yeah, and we can't hear her when she freezes.
Yeah.
Maybe Stephanie can go ahead and give the staff report.
Nothing I can do for that. You have to mute the video.
Yeah, so far what I have is that we have a motion to open the public hearing by Megan, and we have a second that I believe came in from Will Sinner. We had two people, but we need to call a vote for that. So I'm gonna call the vote.
Okay.
All right, Eric Altman.
Here. Aye.
Aye. Elizabeth Dicker.
Aye.
Max Dowdle.
Aye.
Megan Kimball.
Hi.
Will Sinner.
Aye.
Virginia Smith.
Aye.
And Will Spoon.
Aye.
Great. So we have unanimous. The public hearing is open, and I will screen share now and start the staff report. Please let me know. Someone say aye when you can see the application.
Aye.
Aye.
Great.
Aye.
Mhm.
Thanks. Okay, so tonight we are at 109 East King Street. This is a one-story, hold on, let me get back to the beginning here. We have a one-story parapet roofed commercial building. It's 3 bays wide with a central entrance flanked by 48 light display windows. The brick building is laid in a running bond and has terracotta coping at the parapet and stucco on the east elevation. The replacement 4-panel door has one light side light set in a larger surround with one light side lights and a single light transom. The entrance has a classical surround with a denticulated cornice supported by pilasters and is sheltered by a fabric awning. There are 6/6 wood sash windows on the side elevation. There is a shed roofed concrete block wing at the far right or northeast. The building does not appear on the 1943 Sanborn map, but Bellinger dates the building to 1944. The applicant tonight is proposing to install a painted mural on the previously painted stucco exterior wall on the east elevation of the building. The mural will be completed using bare exterior grade paint with a combination of brushes and rollers. A clear coat will then be applied over the paint to minimize fading, wear, and tear. The artist is responsible for maintenance for 3 years from the date of completion. So in your packets, you have the COA application, you have this narrative describing the partnership on the project and the folks that have been involved in putting this together. You also have the artist statement as well as photos of the existing conditions of the building and a rendering. So here on the screen, we are seeing the existing building here, the stucco wall that is previously painted. And then this is a rendering of the mural that's being proposed. The design standards that apply are exterior walls and art.
Okay. Usually we do elevation by elevation, but there's just the one elevation here. Do any commissioners have anything they want to say about this elevation, which is the mural itself?
I think at this point, do we ask the applicants if they have anything they'd like to add?
Yes, thank you, Megan.
Sure.
Shannon and Dale, do you have anything you want to add about the mural?
No, the narrative and the things that we submitted were pretty extensive. The only thing that I would say is that, this mural location was carefully thought about and considered. It's very similar to the mural that we did a few years ago at Volume Records. It's on an alley facing facade. It's not on a front facade. It's a previously painted wall. We worked with the artist to do a design that that was in kind with the scale of the surrounding area. We thought that it was appropriate as far as massing goes. And what's nice about this particular piece of art and the other mural that we have done is that it is able to be seen by pedestrians from the right of way, but it is on a private building. We didn't feel like this concealed or hid or damaged any of the architectural features of the building. And so we're really excited about the project. And I know we're not talking about design necessarily of the piece of art, and that's not something that this board considers, but you know, the panel really kind of poured over the design, really enjoyed the unifying features of the dogwood and the cardinal, and also kind of the land as something that brings us all together as both community members and North Carolinians. So I'm not sure. And, you know, really that ties again back to the News of Orange, who's the longtime tenant of this building, as an entity in our community that brings us all together. So we're excited about this project and happy to answer any questions. And I'm not sure if Dale has anything to add. And I believe the artist is here as well, if there's any questions.
I don't have anything to add. I'm just here to listen mostly.
I have a question. What happens to the maintenance plan after the 3 years are up?
The mural can either be painted over by the building owner, or it can be allowed to age with a fine patina, like you see many historic murals across the state.
I had a
Okay.
follow-on question on the maintenance, if you're done, Virginia.
Yes.
I can't remember from the last one. Does the maintenance plan cover if someone defaces it or tags it, as the kids call it?
Yes.
It does.
Yeah. Yes, unless it's something that's essentially beyond repair, where it would have to fully be redone, and then we would have to reevaluate. But hopefully we won't have any instances. But we did have that discussion with the other mural as well. There were some concerns also if a car pulls in and scrapes up against it. And it's really going to depend on the level of damage, and we'll have to assess that with the artist if it is to happen.
Okay, but I mean, realistically, I mean, what I don't want to see happen is it gets, you know, something vulgar written on it and it stays that way a long time. Is there a, so we have some type of quick remedy if that happens, to either
With newspapers all over it.
Yes, we could cardboard over it while we assess the situation.
Okay.
But I don't think the News of Orange is interested in having any bad words or hate speech or any symbolism or anything like that on the side of their building for any period of time.
Great, thank you.
I have a question. Is the door being painted?
That may be a question for Richard, but I believe he is planning on incorporating the door into the overall design, yes.
Yeah, that's what it looks like, just from the rendering. So is the door from the previous picture, it seemed like the door was just sort of like a non-historic metal door that's already painted? That
Yes, that's accurate.
okay, and none of the like the wood parts of the window will be painted. Is that, looks like those are left.
I was going to ask too, could they be, or do we, because the other mural didn't have any windows in it.
Okay, I see here. Yes, we are painting over the door. No windows are painted.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe that was the intention, was not to paint the windows.
Okay.
And so in the process of painting, what's going to happen to that tree that kind of brushes up a little on the side there? It looks like a cedar, maybe. Yeah, you can see it in the before picture.
Stephanie, is that a street tree?
It may be right outside of the right of way, but I could certainly help if it came, if it needed to be pruned a little bit back from the building. I think it could be done fairly easily.
Okay. Okay, I have one last thing to add. Oh, if anybody else, does anybody else need to add something too? Okay. So there's this terracotta coping. I'm pretty sure it's terracotta across the top. And it's really important that wanted to add that as a
Yeah.
reminder.
I think
Don't
what
pay
Virginia was just saying was that she did not want to see that terracotta painted over, and I don't believe that's the intention. I think the intention
Okay.
is just to paint the stucco.
Okay, good. I just wanted to say that out loud, make sure we all agreed on that.
Yeah, just to clarify, what type of material is on the wall now? Is it stucco or is it painted brick?
Painted stucco.
Okay.
This is Will Spoon. I think it's, I really like the design. I think it's appropriate and appreciate you all continuing to bring these neat projects that liven up the town.
I'll keep doing it as long as people keep asking.
Okay. Is it time to have a vote?
Should we discuss if we want any conditions?
Oh, we
Like-
can.
If we want to add that the terracotta coping not be painted, that the windows not be painted?
We can add that.
It's also a part, I mean, as presented tonight, the terracotta is not being painted and the windows are not being painted. So
Right.
that's as
Yeah.
presented
I
tonight.
think we've just had issues in the past where we weren't very specific, and then things
Yeah.
were done a little differently from how it was presented.
I think it might help to just be really clear with the applicants, but you don't necessarily need to make it a condition. But I think you're right, Megan, that it's good to be really specific about what you believe you are hearing as a part of the application.
Another question I had is about if the maintenance plan. So after 3 years, it could either continue there or the owner could choose to paint the wall. At that point, I guess they would just have to come, if they wanted to paint the wall, they would have to come back to the commission. So we don't need to worry about what happens at the end of 3 years if they wanted to make a change, if they didn't want to keep the mural. Is that right?
Well, the minor work guideline for painting exterior walls would allow staff approval of an exterior wall being painted, in a standard exterior color without coming
Yeah.
for a certificate of appropriateness.
That's fine. They would still, my only concern was they would have to seek approval for whatever they did next. Okay.
Okay, so does anyone want to make a motion to approve this application?
This is Will Spoon. I'm happy to. I got my binder right here. This is an easy one. If that's all right, Virginia.
Oh, please, yes, go ahead.
Actually, before I start, I kind of agree with Megan on the conditions, because we kind of got into like a gray area on a previous application where if it wasn't specifically conditioned, even though we did say it and we could see it in the
minutes.
transcript, we
Yeah.
didn't have as strong of a position as if we had conditioned it. But
Mhm.
but what should I do? Include? I guess Virginia's the boss tonight. Should I include conditions or not? Or
Well, I don't think there's any harm in doing it. I know what you mean, though.
more for Stephanie to write up, unfortunately. But
It's no problem. Make whatever motion you want to make. It's fine. No
Alright.
problem.
I'll keep it simple.
It's crossing the T's and dotting the I's.
Yeah, that's how I see it. All right, so I move that we find as a fact that launched into it, wasn't ready. That who's actually, is this a Campbell application or is this a?
It's Shannon Campbell on behalf of the Hillsborough TDA.
Okay, so I move
And the
that we find as a
property
fact that the Shannon Campbell on behalf of the Hillsborough Arts Council, so it was
The TDA.
TVA, is in keeping with the overall character of the historic district and complies with all relevant standards of evaluation based on our discussions of the application and the standards of evaluation in section 3.12.3 of the Unified Development Ordinance. because the plans are consistent with guidelines, exterior surfaces, and what was the other one, Stephanie?
Art and exterior walls.
Art and exterior walls.
Okay. So we're going to take a vote now.
We need a second.
Oh, that's right. Second?
I'll
I'll
second.
second.
Okay.
Okay, that's Virginia.
Okay. So if you'll just say yes or no, aye or nay, when your name comes up. Megan?
Aye.
Okay. Will Spoon?
Aye.
Elizabeth Dickerson? I don't need to say your last name. Sorry. Elizabeth?
Aye.
Will Center?
Aye.
Okay. Eric Altman?
Aye.
Max?
Aye.
Okay.
Great. I move to approve the application as submitted with the following conditions:
Mhm.
that the window muntins are not painted and the window trim is not painted,
Mhm.
that the terracotta roof tiles are not painted, and that so I guess just those two, unless we want to include one, unless the maintenance plan does not sufficiently cover what happens if it gets defaced, which I think it does. Can we just stop with those two? Okay. Anybody second?
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay. Okay. So now we vote again. Okay. Is that right, Stephanie? We vote again?
Yeah, so the first was a
Yes.
finding of fact. You voted on the finding of fact, and now you're
Okay.
voting on the official motion to approve. So you just
Okay.
need to call the roll.
All right. So Megan Kemple,
Aye.
We lose Virginia.
no. Can you not hear me?
No,
No.
Hear
I'll
you.
call. Would you like me to call the roll, Virginia?
Yes,
I'll go.
please. If
Okay,
I'm
I'm
cutting
sorry.
out. Yeah, go
Okay.
ahead.
Eric Altman,
Aye.
Elizabeth Dicker,
Aye.
Max Dowdle,
Aye.
Will Center,
Aye.
Will Spoon,
Aye.
and Virginia Smith.
Aye.
So the motion passes with a unanimous vote. Great. And if, I don't know if Virginia's still having audio trouble, but Shannon and Dale and Richard, thank you for joining us. You guys can go, you have an approval, and we're gonna, I guess, move on to the next application. For those guests that are with us tonight for the second application, you can go ahead and turn your cameras on. There's everyone's smiling faces. All right. Virginia, are you with us?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Let's move along to item number 5B.
Okay. 306 North Churton. Charles Martinstein and Rachel Price. Oh, yeah. Okay. So somebody needs to move that we open the public hearing.
I'll move.
Okay, second. Second.
Second, Will Spoon seconds.
Okay. So now we have to vote to open the public hearing. Megan,
Aye.
I'm going to call the roll.
Will
Eric Altman.
Spoon. Okay.
Sorry,
Aye.
Virginia, you're cutting out. Virginia, I'm just going to call the roll. Eric Altman,
Aye.
Elizabeth Dicker,
Aye.
Max Dowdle,
Aye.
Megan, I already recorded you as an aye. Will Center,
Aye.
Will Spoon,
Aye.
Virginia Smith.
Aye.
Great.
Okay. So, our guests, who are here to speak on behalf of this application, that would be, Charles Martinstein and Rachel Price, and David Cates, my neighbor, basically, right, David? Do the three of you promise that the evidence you're going to give us is the truth?
I do.
Okay, Will and Rachel. I mean, Charles and Rachel, sorry.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And also, we have some visitors that I'm not sure what their relationship is to the project.
For sure.
Stephanie, okay. And that
Will-
looks like,
Will
okay,
and Charles are the contractors.
okay,
They may be speaking as well.
okay.
Hi there.
Hey guys, we should swear them in also since they may contribute to the presentation.
Yes, so Will and Charlie, do you promise that the evidence you're going to give us is the truth?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Stephanie, before you
We have
jump
another
into
guest.
before you jump in the staff report, Stephanie, I think the process checklist that you had in the packet referenced calling for conflict of interest before swearing in the applicants. So I wanted to make sure I disclosed that I'm a neighbor of the reference property,
Right.
in addition to in-laws of the applicants.
Will, do you think that familial or family or neighborly relationship will prevent you from being able to act in an unbiased and manner?
I don't think I have any issue reviewing the application based on the guidelines.
Okay, and you don't feel as if there's anything that would prevent you from dealing with the situation, the application, even-handedly at all?
No.
Okay.
Bob, Will does share a property line with the application. It's not just a neighbor, it's actually a property line. And I think in the past that HTC members would be recused if there was a property line that was shared.
If that's practice, then you can do that. Legally speaking, that doesn't necessarily mean that he's got a conflict that would prevent him from participating. But if that is custom, and if that's what the board wants to do, then I don't object to it.
Yeah, and I'll defer to Virginia and others that have been on for a while. It's been quite a number of years since I was staffing this board.
Well, I recused myself when my neighbors, the Jules, came before the commission, just because they're my neighbors and friends. I do share a property line and a hedge. So, yeah, I think it is traditional. But
I'm
it's
happy to
not.
recuse myself then.
I'd also add that in North Carolina, the judicial code of conduct precludes people from deciding their family members' cases. So if you're in-laws, that might be a conflict in and of itself.
In any event, the board has to vote to approve. You cannot recuse yourself. You can be excused by the board. So I would suggest a roll call vote.
We'll need
Okay.
a motion to excuse Will Center.
Okay. I move that we excuse Will Center.
I'll second.
All right, I'll call the roll call, if you will. Eric Altman,
Aye.
Elizabeth Dicker,
Aye.
Max Dowdle,
Aye.
Megan Kimball,
Aye.
Will Center. Did I already say Will Center? I'm sorry.
I don't think he doesn't get to vote on his.
Oh, that's
on
right,
his-
that's right. Virginia Smith
Aye.
and Will Spoon.
Aye.
All right, thank you.
Okay. So next, Do you want to
report,
give
I
us
would
the,
suggest.
I'm sorry?
I suggest a staff report introduction of the application.
Yes, that's what I was going to ask Stephanie. I just couldn't remember the term staff report. I was going to say summary, but sure. Lay it on
All
us,
right.
Stephanie.
Okay, I've just shared my screen again. Hopefully you guys can see the application.
Mhm.
For this application, we're at 306 North Churton. It's a vacant lot that was previously attached to 103 East Queen Street property. So there isn't any information in your historic inventory about this lot.
Mhm.
The applicants are proposing to construct a new home. It will be 1,162 square feet with 163 square feet rear screen porch, 196 square feet front porch, and 126 square feet rear deck. The application also includes a 384 square foot guest house, a 144 square foot shed or greenhouse, a rear stone patio, brick and gravel walkways, a pea gravel driveway, and a parking pad. The applicant is requesting to remove 2 crepe myrtles for the driveway, 1 walnut, and 1 hackberry tree for the parking pad. So in your packets tonight, along with the COA application, you have the project narrative that includes proposed exterior materials for the new construction. You also have many photos of the existing site, details of the doors and light fixtures, a site plan with setbacks noted, and a tree inventory showing the 4 trees to be removed. Elevations of the primary house, guest house, and outbuilding are also included. The design guidelines or standards, the design standards that apply to this application are new construction of primary residential buildings, new construction of outbuildings and garages, new construction of accessory dwelling units, decks, site features and plantings, fences and walls, walkways, driveways, and off-street parking. I'm going to scroll through the application. Here is the project narrative, and we can come back to any of these items as the discussion gets underway. Here is a photo looking towards the east of the lot from Churton Street.
Mhm.
These are 2 of the crepe myrtles that will need to be removed for the driveway to be located. There's a lot of photos in here.
Yeah.
David, you take nice photos.
Thank you.
Yeah, my computer is trying to scroll through them all, so bear with me. All of these are in your packet, so hopefully you guys had a chance to visit the site. We also have the details of the exterior light fixtures, the materials list, which includes both the materials for the house and the colors that have been selected. And here's a site plan of the house. So Churton Street is over here to the left. The driveway comes in. These are the 2 crepe myrtles to be removed. Can you guys see my cursor? Just making sure. Okay, great. Here's the driveway, the parking pad. This is the main house with the front door facing the street, the rear stone patio, and then the guest house is back here. And the shed or greenhouse is here to orient you. The 2 other trees that have to be removed are back here for the parking pad.
Hey, Stephanie, will the existing picket fence remain? Can
I'll
you tell if that was on the map?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Great. I'm just going to go through the elevations here for any members in the audience. This is the front elevation. Materials are listed. Here we have the rear elevation of the primary house. Left elevation. And right. This is a rendering and elevations of the guest house. Again, the materials for that structure are listed here, as well as the colors, and then the shed and outbuilding. All neighbors were notified in the vicinity of this application, and we didn't receive any questions about it. So I'm going to scroll back here to the site plan and turn it back over to you, Virginia.
Yes, so we usually take it elevation by elevation. And I would say beginning with the exterior, the landscaping rather, would be a good idea.
Virginia, I believe the applicants may like to speak.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Who wants to speak? David?
Hey, yes, I just wanted to make one note of a change is the applicants have decided to strike the shutters because of some windows. They just decided at this point they don't want to include the shutters. So that's really the only change from the like if you look at that elevation, the left and right, you can see that window, that window is, it made it kind of awkward.
Oh, yeah.
Have a shutter and not shutter. So they just decided to eliminate shutters.
On the front elevation as well?
Not the front, just the sides.
Okay.
Yeah, I had noticed that. Problem at my house too. Okay, anybody else want to say something about the application? Okay. So any commissioners have comments or questions about the site plan?
Will Spoon, I've got a couple questions.
Okay.
I didn't see it mentioned, but I could have missed it because I read through it kind of fast. Did you go touch on tree protection fencing around any that are considered mature trees by our guidelines, and specifically noting this 56-inch beech? Did you commit in the application to using tree fencing?
I don't understand that question.
Usually on a construction project in the historic district, you have to put tree protection fencing around the trees to keep the heavy equipment from running over the roots. Because
just during construction, you don't
save
like
all the trees.
permanently.
Right. Just as long as that heavy machinery is there, you need to put up some tree protection fencing. I'm sure Charlie has experience with this for sure. I remember that. So
Yeah, that is correct.
yeah. So you will do that, Charlie?
That's right. That is the ones that are in danger, we will do that.
Yeah. Okay.
And Charlie, could you also just because I think they might run your water lines in from Churton, double check even the guys trenching the utilities in, stay out of that tree protection areas, because we've had them basically move the tree protection fencing, trenching the utilities across the roots, and then put it back up. So that kind of defeats the purpose.
Okay.
But you know it better than we do. I'm just a reminder, I didn't see it in the application anywhere.
Yeah.
Like it's ornamental. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll probably be one of our, getting the driveway in there is going to be a big challenge, which will be fun. Stopping traffic on Churton Street, I'll get a lot of friends that way.
Yeah.
But anyway, I make friends easy.
Yeah. It's a good thing you already have friends in town, because
I'd like to suggest that Charlie, before anyone does any of the running any of the utility lines, especially water and sewer, I know you do this anyway, make sure you talk with our public works people and our utilities to make sure that we're all on the same page about where connections need to be. We've run into problems with that in the past too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And my other question was on lighting, but I can hit that during the profiles actually.
okay, I had a question. In the narrative, you say that the HVAC units will be screened with 6 boxwoods. And Stephanie can tell you that we've had some issues with our boxwoods getting sick in town. So you might want to check in with her about that issue before you spend money on boxwoods.
There are several species of boxwoods that are resistant to the blight. And I can let you know what those are, but we also are having a problem with nematodes, and nothing is resistant to the nematodes. So if you want to select a different, you could just maybe open the application up to say an evergreen screening shrub to give yourself a little more flexibility. Is that something that HDC allows, is flexibility on the type of plant material for the screening around HVAC?
I
Right.
have no issue with it.
Okay.
I could support it if we kind of specify like an evergreen and a general size, and then choose whatever fits that block.
Yeah, you definitely want something that will grow to be tall enough to obscure the HVAC. Possible one, that's just a suggestion. Let's see. Oh, I know. Okay, so the parking area. Our standards say that you have to screen the parking area from the street, from view. And you can do that with plantings. So that's something that needs to happen.
So Virginia, we have a magnolia, we have crepe myrtles, we have a fence. Is that not sufficient to act as screening? We have 3 mature trees, and we have the crepe myrtles and a fence.
I don't know, does anybody who knows more about landscaping have a comment? Can somebody else speak to that question? I don't know, I'm looking at the pictures of the front fence. Yeah,
Kind of behind the magnolia is
Yeah.
where the parking is.
yeah, well, I feel like magnolias are not super dense.
Yeah.
And the crepe myrtles will lose their leaves in the winter. So, and also the standards require it. I can give you the.
Oh, no, I understand. I just thought maybe there was enough existing in place, but.
Yeah, just from looking at the photo and going by that lot a million times, I think you need to screen. I also have a question about the crepe myrtles. It seems like those are pretty mature. Is there any way that you can move them elsewhere on the site? Use them?
I believe you would have a lot of trouble with that, Virginia, because moving a mature crepe myrtle, just with the experience I have, I'm not a landscaper or an arborist, but I believe you would have trouble with saving those trees.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to throw it out there because they seem valuable. But if they're not going to survive, then it seems a shame to waste your energy and money. Okay, let me see what else I have. Anybody else have other questions about the site plan? Okay, so sounds like we can go on to the front elevation. Does anybody have a question or comment about the front?
Will Spoon here. So I saw in the materials list that the 3 lantern type lights you're going to use, and I don't see any floodlights or indiscriminate lighting indicated on any of these corners of the front elevations or any of the elevations. Are there going to be any other floodlights or anything like that?
There are no floodlights proposed.
Okay, thanks.
I was wondering that too, Will, and I was relying on you to ask that question.
Lights and trees guy. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah. Let's see. I have a question about the columns. They're fiberglass, and the standards say that to be sure that there's no seam showing on a fiberglass column.
Virginia, there will not be seam showing.
Okay, good.
These are not plastic. They are fiberglass structural columns.
Okay.
All right.
I figured you know what you're talking about. I just had to ask you. Let's see what else. These front steps, brick, thoroughly brick, right? Once you get up to the front porch, what is the floor made of?
I believe in the material list, we're proposing AZEC.
Yeah,
It's-
our sorry.
It's AZAC porch flooring, and it is it looks, I mean, it's porch flooring. It's just like your typical wooden porch flooring.
Like
Well, and
5/4 board or tongue and groove?
It's tongue and groove.
The standards and the materials list do not allow for AZEC as a flooring material on porches. And
Well,
if you look at the materials matrix, it reflects that.
Well, Virginia, if I would like to not argue about that, but I would like to discuss that sometime a little further, because if you know, so many porch floors now in some of the older homes they get in our, especially in our climate, it's just awful how they're rotting and they're swelling up, and then they go back down, and then
Yeah.
Well, you will not, I mean, we could put this on, and we have used this a lot, and people, you can't even tell that it's not wood.
Except it never ages, does it?
Probably gets duller.
I mean, yeah, it gets duller, and we could use rotted wood to start with, but I don't think that's what we're going for. I mean, I would really, really like to debate especially the porch flooring, because it's just I think I would like to say that, but we can, it's what the owners want, but I really am in favor of the AZAC.
Okay. Well, since we just have just revised our guidelines, they're now called standards, and it's really hard to remember to call them standards instead of guidelines, but we've just revised them, and the materials matrix. So the pen is a material that is listed in the materials matrix as being suitable for a porch floor.
So it sounds like
Virginia.
Okay.
Sounds like we're going to
Virginia, I
use
would just-
wood on the front.
I would just add, Virginia, that we discussed this specifically, I think, in one of our meetings, maybe 2 or 3 meetings ago.
Mhm.
We discussed materials for front porch floors, and the commission agreed that it was not appropriate in the front of the building, but I think it's okay for back decks. I can't remember where we landed on that, where it is in the
I believe
materials
that's what
matrix.
I believe that's what I read as well. So it sounds like in order to keep this thing moving forward, we're going to put wood on the front. We'll change that to wood on the front.
Can I just ask a quick question too before we agree to that? Are you able to give us the explanation of why you oppose the flooring that we wanted to use?
Well, I imagine it's because we don't approve anything that's fake, that looks like one thing, but is not. Like, that's why we ask you to put your hardy board with the smooth side out instead of the side that looks like faux wood grain. That's my understanding of why. And also that's why we want the shutters to be the right size to actually function as a shutter and close to cover the window instead of just being decorative. Granted, them, but if you're going to have them, they need to be functional. In other words, it's not set dressing. So
Yeah, these are proposed to be functional.
oh yeah, I realize that. That's just my example of how we like things to be what they're supposed to be instead of a fake representation, like with the hardy board. And
Yeah, and these are standards, so we have to be fair in how we apply them. So if it's not permitted on the materials matrix for the front porch, then we have to apply that to all the applications, just to be fair.
yeah, everyone in the district, including the commissioners here. I have 3 porches, believe me.
So Virginia, one question. Who determines the standards?
It's immaterial who determines the standard. This is the
Who
standard
does?
that
Excuse me.
this is the HDC established this standard after substantial discussion. It is the standard in the ordinance. And, we can debate it all you want, but the standard is what the standard is. And if you don't
Okay,
meet
no.
it, it's a basis for denial. And you don't want that.
No. It was kind of a side question, but anyway. No, that's fine. I understand.
And I'm gonna just come in here for a second. In the materials compatibility matrix, AZEC is not a material that's approved for side and rear porches. But it says
Is it a
that
different material?
yeah, composite or Trex. Trex is allowed. I believe it's a recycled plastic product. That one you guys have allowed on side and rear porches, but AZEC is specifically as a PVC product is called out as not being allowed on the side and rear or the front. So I think that there was a really lengthy discussion about this a couple months ago that Megan referenced. Wood is the standard for front porch flooring, and then Trex can be used on side or rear porches for flooring.
And if I recall correctly, AZEC was a product that was specifically discussed as being somewhat comparable to Trex, maybe not exactly. And the commission specifically said, we don't want AZEC on front porches. So it's the standard.
I do know that many times PVC and composite materials are not included in standards for historic districts simply because they don't age like wood and they're not oftentimes not paintable or stainable.
that's why I asked the question about the aging.
So I'm
And as far as
almost
changing the
100% sure that we're committing to use wood on the front. I guess it sounds like we have to use, if we want to use some sort of composite on the rear, it just would have to be non-AZEC composite.
You have the option of using Trex in
Yeah.
We can use any composite we want as long as it's Trex.
just reading from the standards.
I know, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Which are posted on the town
Yeah.
website.
Yeah.
So you can look at them as you plan.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I understand. So unless my clients think otherwise, I'm saying that's what we're going to commit to. So that
Yeah, do we have to, yeah, thank you. Do we have to specifically state if we're going to use wood, or can we just say we're going to use wood or Trex and leave it with
for the
either
rear
option?
In the front, it has to be wood.
In front, yeah, okay. Got it. So wood.
And the side will likely be the composite.
Trex will be on the non-front sides.
And if
Thank
for
you.
some reason, Rachel, you were to change your mind and want to go wood everywhere, which is another option, we could approve that as a minor work change deemed not substantial. So go ahead and get the approval for the trucks tonight. And if you change your mind, we can work through that at a minor work level.
Okay, that sounds great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
So let's see. Are there any other comments or questions about the front elevation?
I've got one more. This is Will Spoon. I
Okay,
just want to say, I think it's a really appropriate design. I know we're not supposed to try to recreate the past, but I think this is going to be a really nice addition that will complement other real historic properties. So I thank you for
oh
the
yeah,
thorough application.
Yeah.
We're excited about it.
that's a good point, Will. It is very pleasant and a very inviting design. Like I want to come over and visit you. Be forewarned. It's a great looking house. Okay. So should we go around to
I had
the,
just a quick question about the front door. Is this the right time to ask about the front door?
yes, sure is.
So the image shows a frosted glass, and when I was reviewing the standards, it says frosted or etched on a case-by-case basis. So I don't know what that means, but I just wanted to say that out loud.
Right.
Oh, we don't want
I
frosted.
don't think it's frosted.
Oh, I thought it looked like it was frosted in the image. My mistake.
Yeah, I thought so too. But you want it to right,
I think it's just a
Rachel and
reflection.
Charles?
Oh, we don't want it frosted, so I want just clear glass so that
Okay.
we can change the image then if it appears frosted. I didn't see it as that when I looked at it and put it on there.
I'll make a note. Okay. Okay, and so the siding, was the siding described somewhere in the narrative as shiplap? Is that right? Does anybody use that term, or I just imagined it?
It was lap siding.
Okay, thank you. Just curious.
It's real popular these days, shiplap out.
Yeah.
It's not on the outside.
Okay. I was wondering about the foundation. What color will the bricks be, and how will they be laid? As in, what kind of bond?
There'd just be the standard running bond.
Okay.
It'll be a running bond, Virginia.
And what color will they be?
I'll have to defer to Rachel and Charles.
I have not picked out the brick. Rachel, I don't think has picked out the brick, but it'll be a red brick with probably a buff mortar.
Okay. Okay. So you want to commit to that, because I'm going to put it in the conditions. So
Rachel, are you committing to that?
I'm not sure.
you could go look at brick possibilities, and then maybe run it by Stephanie.
Okay, that would be great.
Can you handle it?
Yeah.
Is that a minor work though, or a?
So
is
if
that
you choose,
something
if
you
you,
need to-
oh, I'm sorry, Megan, I didn't mean to interrupt you. If you choose a red brick tonight with a buff mortar and then you change your mind, just like the other materials, we can look at it as a change deemed not substantial. If, however, you come into my office with something lime green or purple brick, we're probably not gonna allow that.
So if we settle on red brick right now, light red brick would fall under that still.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Potentially.
there's
We'd still run it by.
many choices in red brick.
That's all right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
we could
Thank
just,
you.
we could just commit to that then. That's good.
That's it.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say, it's best for us to just have all the specifics now.
Mhm. Yeah, okay. The steps to match the foundation. Okay. So shall we go to the next elevation? Oh, the rear. Okay. Anybody have something to say about the rear elevation? Comments or questions?
Here's where it says shiplap.
Okay. Yeah. So is that really going to be shiplap or tongue and groove or?
I was assuming it was lap, so I didn't.
Yeah, that gable will be lap siding.
Okay. I don't think we even cover that since it's more of an interior finish.
Right.
Right. I have a question about the French doors on the right side of the screen porch. Are they going to be the same doors as the front door and the porch that leads out to the door that leads out to the porch?
Go back to the front. Yeah, go to the front. But yes. Yeah, it'll be the same. You're right, Virginia. You're right.
So it'd be the mahogany door times two?
Doors, yes.
Okay. And so when you go out the door, there's I guess like a surface there and some steps going down.
That's right.
Okay, so these steps are going to be Trex, is that right?
Yes, as of tonight.
And the steps that lead from the screened-in porch down
are going to be wood. Brick, no brick.
Brick, yes.
Oh,
Yeah, brick, sorry.
okay. All right, that's okay. And there'll be no railing on the steps over on the right side?
That's correct.
That's correct.
Is that allowed? I don't know.
Yes. If you have,
Yeah.
if you have stairs that go all the way around, then no railings are required.
Okay, well, good. Okay. All righty. Okay, are there any other questions or comments for the rear elevation?
Will Spoon, I think your call to remove the shutters makes a lot of sense because you couldn't really have functional looking shutters on the rear anyway. So they wouldn't have worked on this 3-pane on this set of 3 windows. I don't know if that's why you did it, but it helps us when we come around to the rear elevation.
Oh yeah.
And my stupid question of the night is, what's the diamond over the back, the center back door? I'm not really clear on what that architectural symbol is.
It means that's the way the door swings.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's actually drawn to me like the opposite of what my mind thinks it is, but the pointed area is right there. That is where that's the side the hinges are on.
Okay. So is it a double screen door?
Double screen doors.
Okay, good. Okay. So should we go to the left side elevation? Okay. Are there any questions or comments here?
All the columns are the same diameter, correct? In this drawing, the front left one looks smaller than the front right one, but is that like a distance from the perspective?
It's a half
column.
Half column, okay.
That's traditional, isn't it?
Yeah, that's standard.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Traditional.
Okay. Okay, anything else? Okay, let's go over to the right elevation.
Looks a lot like
Anybody?
the left.
Yeah.
I guess one thing we
Doesn't
haven't
lead
spoken
parallel to
about
the other one.
is the roof. And I know we always get particular about the type of metal roof.
That's right.
Standing steam with no striations.
Okay, good.
Yeah, please, no striations.
I hate striations.
Do not worry, Virginia.
Well,
I'm the
when
one that reported the Colonial Inn in.
God, I know that was just so awful.
Yeah, David and I found the Colonial Inn and reported it.
Oh yeah,
Well, I reported it to David.
up when I go by there. Okay, so now
I missed the color of what the roof is going to be. I didn't see that anywhere.
Silver.
Silver.
It's listed as Galvalume, which is a
Galvalume.
silver.
Okay, so that I thought when I looked it up, because I had no idea what it was, it looked like it came in different colors, but it's just a silver tone.
Okay. Well, so the Trex is going to be gray, is that right?
Yes.
A pleasant, callback between the roof and the floor there. Okay, so we need to talk about the guest house and the shed / greenhouse. Let's start with the guest house. Okay, I'm just looking at my notes. Okay, so does anybody have any questions or comments about the guest house?
It's hard to see on my screen the materials, but are the steps going to be wood?
Wood.
They are now.
Okay.
Okay.
Believe.
And you'll paint them gray, I guess, to match the trucks. Okay.
That's correct.
It actually says brick.
Deck flooring says AZEC.
What about front steps?
Yeah, that's a mistake.
Is it supposed to be wood, David? I mean, I don't have to be right.
It's showing that way in the drawings.
Right.
I mean, we can change it to brick, but it's really intended in the drawings to be showing wood. So.
Yeah, let's do wood. It looks better.
Okay.
Is that okay, Rachel? Chaz?
Yes, wood is great.
Okay. There was one thing I forgot to ask you about. But in the site plan we have, it appears to be stone. So is it stone or brick?
Where are you talking about?
The patio. I'm backtracking on myself.
Yes,
that patio is stone.
Okay, that's what I thought. That's what the site plan shows, but
yeah,
somewhere verbally it says brick. Okay.
Yeah, I think there was a change, so I must have missed that.
Yeah, the legend says, materials legend says brick pavers for the patios.
Yeah. We'll correct
we
that.
switched it. Yeah, we switched it. It was, yeah, we changed it to stone in the back, but then the walkway to the front of the house is going to be brick in the front. But then the walkways on the side of the house, yeah, there is brick. and that's
That's
stone.
stone.
And then the small walkway is just gravel.
So the site plan is correct, but the little box that was on the elevation drawing has some older information.
Right. Exactly.
Thank you, Stephanie.
That's what I'm here for.
Yes. A clear thinker. Okay. Okay, anything else about the guest house, y'all? Okay, so how about the shed? Any comments or questions about the shed and the greenhouse, the combo?
Actually, I do have a question about the guest house. Just curious about
Okay.
how tall it is compared to the main house. It's gonna, I can't read that little, yeah. But it'll be shorter, right? It'll be,
Oh, yes.
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 It is, it's like 16 feet, 11 inches.
Okay,
And the house is, let's see. House is 25 feet.
Okay. And you just, that zooming in on that made me see the brick, so the brick will also be red brick, and the foundation.
Yes.
Okay.
well, I like that the guest house is set completely back from the main house.
Mhm.
That's well considered, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
It's as far back as we could get it.
Yeah. It makes me think of your little house in your backyard, David,
Yeah,
and how you had to site it
exactly right.
just so. Okay. The shed and the greenhouse, that's where we are now. Any comments or questions? Let's see. This is the same roof, right? Yeah,
Yes,
and the same color roof. Okay,
yes.
okay. So is there a step up to the door?
This is planned to be like very close to the ground, so there really wasn't the intent.
Just
for us
one
to-
step. It's just one step up.
into the
Maybe
building.
6 inches, Virginia.
Okay. So you're going to put something there to step up on to go through before you go through the door, or?
No, the door is the step, the 6 inches.
The foundation is essentially the step.
I got you. Okay. All right. And the greenhouse, the aluminum framework, color is, do you know? I don't know.
The aluminum
Yeah. Mhm.
was just planned to be aluminum,
Okay. All righty. It's gray.
less maintenance.
Okay. All righty. Is there anything else we need to talk about? Stephanie, is there something I'm leaving out here?
No, not if you guys have finished asking all of your questions. There's been quite a few things that were clarified during the application tonight, so I'll just run through those really quickly. There will be tree protection fencing put up during construction to protect mature trees in the vicinity of the construction. You'll be using gray Trex on the sides and rear porches. The galvalume will be a silver galvalume for the roofing. Evergreen shrubs, as opposed, you can use boxwoods, but if you choose something else, as long as it's evergreen, it's a-okay. You have wood on the front porches, clear glass on the front door. The patio is stone, and the walkway is brick as shown on the site plan. The materials on the site plan are correct for the site features. And I believe those were all the things that were just clarified. Now, whether or not that the HDC wants to add any other of their discussion as a part of the conditions, that's up to them. But those were the things that were a little confusing in the application, but have now been clarified.
Did you say the red brick with buff mortar?
Yeah,
Yeah.
red brick,
I missed that one. So yes, thanks. Red brick buff
And-
mortar.
no shutters on the left or right elevations.
Yeah.
And then, Virginia, you brought up the screening of where the cars are parked.
Yeah.
I don't know if we came to any conclusions on that.
Well, because the standards require it, in spite of the vegetation that's already there, I think there needs to be some flora that acts as a screen, you know, like a hedge or something along the side of the parking area that is parallel.
Is
Does it
right?
does it have to be right along that drive where you're marking? My only concern about doing the screen there is that I didn't want to encroach at all on the magnolia and its roots in there. So I feel like if we try to plant in there, it's going to be underneath the magnolia and close to the like base of it. So can it be screened up closer to the fence? You know, or where the fence used to be? I guess that's open now. Can I do it towards the front of the property, or does it have to be along the driveway?
Well, I was just thinking of the parking area more than the driveway.
I mean,
Right,
yeah.
We're worried about compromising the magnolia.
Yeah.
And she makes a good point. It's difficult for it'd be difficult for shrubs to grow underneath the magnolia.
Could it be a fence?
Yes.
Okay, so it could be a fence.
Fence screen.
Or can it be plants closer to the road, or no?
I think it could be if it's adequately screens the parking from
A
the
closer
people who are on the road. But
Can support
just
that.
going backwards, I thought that the fence was remaining. So where, I guess I'm unclear on, obviously you need to take part of the fence out to make the driveway. So
It'll
to
turn
what
to
extent
follow
is
the
the fence
driveway.
going to be removed?
So it turns right before so the fence continues, and then right before the driveway, it will turn back towards the house,
And
and then the
follow the
front
driveway.
corner of the property does not have fence.
Maybe
they
if we
will.
could look at the site plan so we understand where the fence.
Yeah.
If I could add something, Rachel, if we move the planting down the hill, it's going to take taller plants and much larger plants to shield the cars.
Yeah.
Because we're moving down the hill. Now we can do
Megan,
that.
do you
but-
see where the fence line follows the driveway there? So it cuts in and comes up to the house there.
What if you just move that section of fence along Churton to the north, just move that up to be beside the parking area?
Yeah.
Do what?
He's saying
Yeah,
do the fence
exactly.
right there.
Oh, cut that in right there.
What about
Gotcha.
that? Because it sounds like, and I wasn't aware of this, that y'all were talking about removing the fence north of the driveway. Is that correct?
Oh, I guess we could leave it. I just, yeah,
Yeah,
I hadn't thought about it.
I think it looks better to leave it. But
Okay,
Yeah, that's
then leave
fine.
it.
So there'll be
Hey,
fence.
Stephanie, can we see that exact standard? Because is there no caveat that if, unless there is existing vegetation, because most magnolias I see have leaves all the way to the ground and are
pretty dense.
pretty dense. Yeah, unless they're shaded out a little bit or something, which just from, I didn't get in your yard, but just from walking by it, it looked pretty shaded to me, or pretty screened to me.
It's a
I
pretty
don't,
big
yeah, I
magnolia.
don't think, I'm concerned. I think it would have to be like the fence or something, because I don't think the shrubs are gonna grow to be a viable option underneath the magnolia to create that screen there.
Well, let me just interject that there's a huge magnolia right next to my house, and I have a hedge that grows under it. Granted, it's not as tall, the part that's under the tree, as to the hedge, but
if you look at page 7,
Mhm,
there's a good picture of the magnolia.
mhm.
And one of the things you have to remember, at least my page 7, page 7.
Mhm.
One of the things you have to remember is that this, even though there is some clearing underneath the magnolia, the
Mhm.
lot slopes upward.
Yeah.
So although your visual line would still be coming up through there. So
I'll read the standard to you. It's number 11 under walkways, driveways, and off-street parking. Screen new off-street parking areas in residential and commercial areas of the district from view. Minimize the visual impact on adjacent properties through the use of perimeter plantings, fences, walls, or hedges.
yeah, I mean, that's a good point, because the fence obscures some of the view, and the upper canopy, like from 4 or 5 feet up, the canopy of the magnolia screens some of it. So that leaves sort of a slit, I guess, between the two of them, but
This is one of those
They meet,
situations
pretty
that it
much.
might be good to just take stock of all of the different commission members, because you don't have to reach consensus on this board. You just got to get a majority. So it might help if people could indicate whether or not they felt like screening around the edge of the parking area was necessary to meet that standard.
Well, I need to ask a clarifying question. So are you saying you can leave the fence, the white fence that's there now, on either side of the new driveway? So the fence will run parallel?
Yeah,
Correct.
yeah. We'll just have the
Well,
opening in the fence
Except
for the
the-
driveway.
But I don't
Right,
think it's
okay.
running parallel up the other side though. It's
So,
just in the front.
since
I
the
don't think we're
fence will
taking it
be
up both
there,
sides of the driveway.
Right.
yeah. So the fence, specifically the part to the left of the driveway, it'll obscure, I don't know, the lower 3 feet. And then the magnolia will pick up the job from about, I don't know, the upper, I guess it'll, like you were saying, David, it's going to be, okay. I, for one, am satisfied with this idea for screening using the fence and the existing magnolia for that effect.
I agree.
Yeah, I'd like to just understand, see if I understand what's going on with the fence, because now I'm a little confused. So currently the property is completely fenced in. There's a fence that goes all the way around. And so my understanding was that that fence would be maintained there, except for where the driveway needed to go in. So is that correct? Okay.
That's correct.
All right, because I would say that this fence is like, contributes to the historic character of this property. So I think the fence needs to stay as it is, but I understand you need to open it up to make the driveway. And so then you're adding a fence that goes along where Stephanie's showing, and I guess back to and that fence will match the existing fence.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, and then Virginia, were you saying that they would add more fence, or they're just confirming that they're going to be?
I was just confirming that they're going to retain the fence that's there.
Okay, got it.
Except for where you have to take it out for the driveway.
Okay, thank you.
I found the site plan just a tiny little bit confusing.
I thought it was very clear.
Maybe it's because I'm a layperson. Maybe that's why.
The light colored fence means existing to remain, and the dark colored fence means new. And then we had a note for, although I pointed to the wrong place with my arrows, I will admit that. But yeah, I'll try to be more clear next time.
Virginia, I understand what you're talking about.
Okay, thank you.
I do. It takes me a while to get used to site plans too.
Oh, yeah. So Stephanie was polling the rest of the commission to see where everyone stands.
I think it's fine.
Okay.
I'm good with it.
Okay. So Elizabeth, I can't see your face.
Oh, I think it's fine.
Okay. And Will Spoon?
Yep, no issues
Okay, there you
from my
are.
perspective.
Okay, Max, what do you think? Okay. Did I get everybody? Okay. So it sounds like we're all okay with this idea as we understand it, retaining the fence and retaining the magnolia. And that will be adequate screening. For the
And Virginia,
parking
I think
area.
what kicked all that off was Stephanie was going through a list of clarifications that could possibly become conditions if we thought they needed to be. And I had one more to add to the list if you're at the end of the list. So kind of to Bob's point and my point about the utilities, what became the last year of what I think was pretty consistent was Justin was actually getting, and I know you might not be able to have it tonight, but he was adding to the site plan, the utilities and where the tree fencing was going to be before ground was broken. And I'd really like at least you to have that, Stephanie. I'm not saying to hold it up or anybody needs to come back before us, but we kind of gotten accustomed to seeing that. And as long as the applicants don't think it's going to slow their construction down or anything, I'd like that to at least be in staff's hands.
And that would be, Will, just so I understand, so that staff could check that the trenching for utilities wouldn't be impacting the root zones of mature trees.
That's right. Yeah, and I think the only mature tree on this whole site plan is that beech in the corner, but it sounds like the applicants, the trees mean a lot to them too, so I don't think it's gonna be an issue, but it was just kind of a double check thing we'd started to do.
Yes, I love those trees.
There are definitely times where utilities, not just in our town, but in many towns, will show up at a site and go right through the most mature tree on the site. So I think what Will is just trying to say is this is something we all need to keep our eyes on. If you guys can keep me apprised as to what the meter box location is, that would be helpful. We can add it to the property file.
Okay. There's a question that I forgot to ask, and that's about door hardware. For the front door and the door that leads to the double doors that lead to the back deck area. Have you chosen the hardware?
I have not chosen the hardware.
Okay.
You might have an idea. Did you have an idea for the color though?
I was thinking just
It'll be either black
probably
or
like
bronze
black or bronze or something.
silver.
Yeah, probably bronze-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something that would probably match the tones already there.
Okay. And so the gates that you're putting in, I'm looking at the plan. I have two monitors going, and that's why I keep looking up. I'm not seeking inspiration from heaven or anything. So you're going to have a gate.
Yeah, the proposal was to match the existing.
Right. Okay. I'm just checking on that.
Yeah, I believe we committed to that in the narrative.
And that'll be like black iron.
It's black on the fence currently.
Yes.
So maybe we'll do black on the doors so we pick
just
up the
Carry it
fence.
in, yeah.
Well, it'll match your shutter dogs.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah. So we could commit to that if we need to. We can say that.
Usually people bring us like a photograph of the door hardware.
Oh.
Sorry.
It's okay. And I hope that you never have to go through this again in your time in Hillsborough. Okay.
It's been fun.
So is there anything that we did not cover? Commissioners, anybody? No gaps left?
I
Okay,
think y'all did a great job.
thank you. It's going better than the last time I had to chair the meeting. It had. Okay, so now I guess, is it time to close the public hearing? Is that right?
Yep.
Who wants to move that we close the public hearing?
I'll move.
Okay, second.
Second.
Okay,
I'll call the roll. Eric Altman,
Aye.
Elizabeth Dicker,
Aye.
Max Dowdle,
Aye.
Megan Kimball,
Aye.
Wilsoner. Oh, sorry, no, Wilsoner. Virginia Smith,
aye.
Will Spoon.
Aye.
Stephanie, can you let Will and Charlie back into the meeting? I don't know where they went.
Yeah, I don't have a prompt for them to come back in. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Maybe they got bored.
Oh, the iPad lost power.
just tried to add in.
The iPad lost power.
Oh dear.
There
Hey,
it is.
Virginia, I wrote down all the conditions, so I'm happy to move to approve this application.
Bless.
Findings of fact first.
Yeah, I will. I know.
That's
Okay,
the
so
essay part, yeah.
I move that we find as a fact that the Martinstein and Price application at 306 North Churton Street is in keeping with the overall character of the historic district and complies with all relevant standards of evaluation based on our discussion of the application and the standards of evaluation in section 3.12.3 of the Unified Development Ordinance, because the plans are consistent with design guidelines. Hold on a moment. Basically all of them, but I'll find it here shortly. Design guidelines, new construction of primary residential buildings, new construction of outbuildings and garages, new construction of accessory dwelling units, decks, site features and plantings, fences and walls, walkways, driveways, and off-street parking.
Okay. So you made the motion. Is this,
We need a second
Yeah.
for the finding of fact.
okay,
Second.
I'm sorry, who is that?
Me, Eric.
Oh, thanks. Thanks, Eric. Okay, and I'll do roll call again. Eric Altman,
Aye.
Elizabeth Dicker,
Aye.
Max Dowdle.
Aye. Sorry, unmuting.
That's okay. Megan Kimball,
Aye.
Virginia Smith,
aye.
and Will Spoon.
Aye.
All right.
Okay. I move to approve the application as modified with the following conditions. The applicants will use tree protection fencing to protect mature trees and provide the location of tree fencing and utility trenching to town staff prior to the work being done. The applicants will use.
Lost your audio.
I can hear.
Can you hear me now?
At least I have.
Oh,
Okay. There will be evergreen shrubs to screen the HVAC. They just need to be tall enough to screen the units entirely. Wood will be used as the material on the front porch, and on the guest house, front deck and steps. Gray Trex will be used on the side and rear. The exterior doors, the glass will be clear. And the doors in the rear, the French doors will be the same doors as the door used in the front elevation. All foundations will be red brick with buffed mortar. The steps will match the foundation when the steps are brick. The rear gable will be lap siding. The rear steps from the back porch are brick. There will be no shutters on the left or the right elevations. The metal roof is the silver galvalume, standing seam, no striations. The patios will be stone. And the existing fence around the property will remain, except for the area where a driveway will be added. The new fence will match the existing fence. I believe those are all my conditions. Did anyone have any extras?
Black hardware for the door.
Yeah.
There will be black hardware on the doors. So if there are no other conditions, then we just need someone to second the motion.
I'll second.
All right, I'm gonna call the roll. Eric Altman,
Aye.
Elizabeth Dicker,
Aye.
Max Dowdle,
Aye.
Megan Kimball,
Aye.
Virginia Smith,
Aye.
Will Spoon.
Aye.
So the motion passes unanimous.
Thank you so much.
Thank y'all so much.
Yay.
Enjoy your new house.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you all.
Thank you very much. This was fun. Thank you. Appreciate it.
No problem.
See y'all next month.
Yeah, really. Hmm.
Virginia, are you ready to move on?
Yeah. Have to get back to the agenda right quick.
That's all right. The next thing we have on the agenda is annual election of officers.
Right. Okay. So
I think Virginia froze. Maybe she'll come back in a second.
okay.
So basically, every year this board elects a chair and a vice chair. The chair, of course, chairs the meetings. When the chair is unavailable, the vice chair chairs the meetings. Both of those positions sometimes also do some additional work with staff as the agenda packets are being put together. Unfortunately, Virginia's term comes to an end this year. I believe February is the last of your term. And so, Will and Lizzie are both brand new. Welcome to your first meeting, both brand new. And I believe, Megan, did you want to make an announcement at all?
Yeah. Sure.
So
I'm pretty sad I'm very happy because my husband and I are expecting twins in February. We're just shocked that there are two of them coming at the same time. And so when I thought there was just one, I thought, staying on HTC would be a great way to, try to stay connected to the adult world. But now that there are two, I just don't think I can handle it. So I will be resigning soon. Stephanie's going to let me know when they find someone new. So this might be my last meeting with you guys. And I've really enjoyed being on the HDC, and I definitely, once the they're identical girls. So once the girls are a
Wow.
little older, I'll definitely try to rejoin an advisory board because this has been a lot of fun. So, anyway, while I would love to be your chair or vice chair, I would not be a good choice because I'm going to be going away soon, but I hope to see everybody around town. I'll be probably walking them often.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, hopefully I'll see everybody.
You can call in when you see work going on in the district.
Yeah,
That's not permitted.
I'll do that for sure.
That's awesome. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll never be able to look at the neighborhood the same way
Nope.
after you serve on the HTC.
Yeah, it's more so my husband who, like, when we go on walks, he's like, "Is this allowed? Is that allowed?" Chill out, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, I've had a lot of fun. Thank you guys for serving with me.
Well, you did a great job, Megan.
Oh, thank you.
So the way annual elections work is that you make a nomination and try to convince someone to be chair and vice chair, and then we'll need an official vote. And that this person would start, these people would start at the next meeting.
I'd like to nominate Will as chair. I think I'm always impressed with how he comports himself in the meeting and also just the breadth of his knowledge when it comes to everything.
I second that. I think he'd be a great chair.
Yeah, I agree. I got a lot of.
Cool.
Virginia put her finger on her nose. I didn't get to it quite as fast as she did.
Yeah, they were ready. They were ready for you, Will.
Wow. Well, both my two nominations I found out aren't going to be here anymore, so that makes it kind of tough. What's left on my term, Stephanie? Do you know?
Oh, goodness. I didn't look it up, but you've got at least a year.
Yeah.
So this position is only for 1 year. Each October, we do annual elections. And honestly, if your term runs out midway through the year, or if life comes up and you have to step off, then we just have a new election at that time.
I don't know if Will has a year because I started in November. And he was already on the board. And I think my 3 years is coming up this year, but maybe I'm misremembering.
Members can serve 2 consecutive terms. So 2.
Oh, okay. So Will, you just have to stay on for another term.
I did, and it is a long time. I'm telling you. It's worth it. Serve your neighbors, right?
Will, I'll be your vice chair until
Yeah,
my
I was going
term's
to say, I mean, if that's decided, can I nominate the vice to be Max?
I'll second that.
Yep, same.
All right, so let's do these votes because we didn't actually vote on the first one. We got a nomination in a second, then we got another nomination in a second. So we have a nomination for Will Spoon to be chair. That was from Megan. I'm sorry, that was from Max, and then Megan seconded. So let me do a roll call vote on that real quick, and then we'll move on to vice chair. Eric Altman.
Aye.
Elizabeth Dicker.
Aye.
Max Dowdle.
Aye.
Megan Kimball.
Aye.
Will Sinner.
Aye.
Virginia Smith.
Aye.
And Will Spoon.
Is he voting?
Say aye, Will.
All right. Now he's on the hook.
It's okay.
All right. And for vice chair, I'm not sure who nominated. Max, did you just nominate yourself, my friend?
I think I did. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Max nominated himself.
There you go.
That's great. No, that's the first time ever. And we have a second from Virginia, so I'm going to call the roll again. Eric Altman.
Aye.
Elizabeth Dicker.
Aye.
Max Dowdle.
Aye.
Megan Kimball.
Aye.
Will Sinner.
Aye.
Virginia Smith.
Aye.
And Will Spoon.
Aye.
All right, so both of those pass with a unanimous vote.
Yay.
Okay, you want to move on to updates? Are you ready?
Sure, let's do it.
Okay. So the planner position, Justin's position, was advertised, and my understanding is the planning department has had interviews and I believe are in some form of negotiation with their top choice candidate. So I have not been involved in that at all. So there's no poker face. I can't give anything away, but I do believe that there will be a staff person hired shortly. And the way that basically I'll work for a couple months to support that person as they get trained. The HTC, as you all know, is just a really intense board to get thrown into. So
Oh, yeah.
we'll have to work together. And I don't know what that means. I don't know if that means that I'll still staff and the new person will sort of observe for a while, or if I'll just be in more of a support position. But I do think that you will have someone to staff your board very soon. Are there any questions about that? No. Okay. When there is an official agreement, I will certainly make that announcement to you.
They didn't ask you to interview the person or anything?
No, I have not been involved at all. I
Oh.
don't know the candidates and I'm not involved.
Oh, okay.
But I got my fingers crossed for you. And so does Justin. I just talked to Justin today. He told me to tell you all hello.
Oh,
Hey, Stephanie, is one question on that one. It's on the last call we talked about this, you were thinking, or Margaret was thinking they were going to reshuffle duties. Is it still sounding like that, or is our new Justin going to be just like our old Justin? Or is it like there was going to be some rejiggering of the duties of the new code enforcement person and the new HDC person?
Yeah, so Shannon, for those of you who don't know, Margaret is not the planning director anymore. Margaret is assistant town manager, and Shannon Campbell is the planning and economic development manager for the town. So Shannon is running the planning department and this position is in the planning department. So they have just hired a planning tech position that's going to be doing a lot of the like fielding questions and calls, probably will help out on minor works, zoning permits, and some basic stuff, and answering general inquiries that come in. And so then the new planner will be free to staff the Historic District Commission, to follow up on code enforcement cases, and then to handle maybe a little bit more general site plan review and potentially even some planning board items. I don't know. Shannon is going to, once the positions are filled, she can then look at the strengths of the, folks that have landed in those positions and figure out what works for the department. I imagine things will be changing over the next, 3 to 6 months as they find a rhythm with basically a brand new director and 2 brand new staff people. So a lot is up in the air right now.
Cool, thank you.
Yeah. New members on this board, new standards. It's like a great time to start something in Hillsborough. It's a great time to join the HDC. Okay, so beyond that, I don't have a lot of updates for you. I know that you guys are curious about the code enforcement case with the Axel Banks, and my understanding is that another certified letter has been sent, just expressing that the current configuration of the second floor door as it was installed does not meet, it's a zoning violation. And so with that certified letter, there's a certain amount of time that is ticking before whatever the next step is, which I guess is the assessment of fines. Margaret is handling that code enforcement case, and I do not believe that she's heard back from the Axel Banks yet. So hopefully she will soon. When and if I hear anything, I will certainly pass it on to you.
One thing I was wondering about was whatever happened with the that theater building where the Nomad restaurant is now. Did they just decide to leave it as it is? I know they were thinking about putting the stucco back, trying to put the stucco back on. So was that resolved?
I may not understand this fully, but my understanding was that the way that it is now doesn't meet the certificate of appropriateness requirements. And so they are planning to come back when you're meeting in person again to ask to keep it the way that it is now. but they have the
I think
right.
it's the other way around. Like they took all the stucco off. What they wanted to do was keep some stucco on. And we said, no, like that's not in accordance with what was approved by the HDC.
Yeah, just like
And
the
so then they took all-
jaggedy kind of mess of
Yeah.
It looks like icing dripping down.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, so they took all the stucco off.
Okay.
They were intending to come back to try to put some of the stucco back on the way they had wanted, but.
Yeah, the last time I talked to the applicant about it, it was Jim Parker, and he said that he was waiting until the board is meeting in person again.
Got it.
Before filing that application. So we, none of us know exactly when that will be. Hopefully not too much longer. These Zoom meetings are hard.
Yeah.
The design, I wanted to tell you one more thing. The design standards, of course, you guys adopted them last month, and they, then if you'll remember, we were going to send them to the public information officer, Catherine Wright, with the town of Hillsborough to do just grammatical cleanup, not content changes. So she has finished that review, and Margaret is integrating all of that in. My intention is to put the final document in front of you at the November meeting for you to just adopt it as, with those few changes, which really aren't too much content changes, although Will Spoon, there were a few, not really content changes, but there were some verbiage that had to change on the site features and plantings page because it grew to be too long. And so there was a little bit of finagling between Jill and Will and Margaret to make sure that the text would fit within the boundaries of the document. And so I'll bring that final document to you at November. You can adopt it again. And then that will be the one that's posted on the website and will be the official design standards.
So just so I understand, does that not then need to go to the town board for adoption, or it just?
The town board is being given a copy for their, it's not adoption, it's more just for information. It's being shared with them. Yes, but under general statute, this is the board that sets and adopts the design standards for certificates of appropriateness applications.
Well, I'm going to try to get some modern photos for the archaeology section. The two photos that are in there now are black and white, the 70s. So I think that Holly and Rich Reed Shaw probably have some modern photos because they live down there close to where it happens every summer. So if I get those, I'll just submit them and see if they can be put in, and if they can't, they can't. But it looks really lame compared, because we have all those other beautiful photos that Candace took.
So Steve Davis, who's the professor at UNC that runs the build sites, I have all of his contact information. If you want me to reach out, I can also reach out.
That's
and
a
see
great.
if he has any photos.
So I realized that one thing we forgot to tell the last applicants was if they're digging around, to stop if they find anything. So Stephanie, would you just make sure you convey that to them and their contractor?
Yeah.
Thanks.
That's like most of what I do in my real job is dig in town. And that's like it's the scariest place to dig. You never know what you're going to find in this town. It could be an artifact. It could be solid rock.
Space. This has been a big open space for however many decades and decades and decades. So
that's right.
Yep.
Well, that's all that I have for updates. If you guys, unless you guys have any questions for me.
Oh, when's Virginia's last meeting and when's my first one where I have to know how to do everything?
So Virginia's final meeting will be in February, and you will start chairing in November. So Will, if you have time in your schedule and you'd like to get together with me once the packets are ready for November, we can sit down together and I can share what I know and we can talk through those packets. Just set up a meeting.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I have a question just for the other. So this is the first time
Yeah, Virginia, you cut off again. Start one more time.
Okay, so here, this is just a question for my own benefit. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the first meeting where we've had to use the new standards, which are a website now instead of in a notebook. I mean, I guess you could print them all out if you really wanted to.
Mhm.
But has anybody figured out a good way to, I used to do Post-it notes on all the guidelines. So has anybody figured out a good way to do that?
I think you can bookmark it if it's a PDF. You can put your own bookmarks in there.
Yeah, okay. All
And
right.
we're happy to print copies of the standards for you. For anyone who prefers to have like a notebook with the standards in it that you can flip through. I sent an email a couple weeks ago asking if anyone wanted a hard copy for that very reason, because I know when I was a commissioner way back in the day, I just needed something that I could look through and flip through easily. So if you want one, I'm happy to print one. Just let me know.
For what it's worth, the PDF is linked. So if you're in the table of contents, you can just click on any of the sections and it'll take you right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I did tonight.
It's a little risky having a paper copy too, because I mean, probably about 4 times a year something changes. So if you have the paper
Hopefully
copy,
hopefully not as much anymore. Hopefully it'll stay static for a little longer than that.
Right.
Okay. Well, I would like one, please.
No
I'm
problem.
the oldest person on the commission, I admit it.
I will.
Not a boomer though, okay? I'm just saying.
Gen X forever. I'll bring you some standards, Virginia, no problem.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
And for the most important motion of the night.
Virginia, you have to call for it.
Okay, would someone like to make a motion for adjournment?
Aye.
Second.
It's like everyone's trying to squeeze through the door together.
That's right. Okay, I'm gonna do roll call. Eric Altman.
Aye.
Elizabeth Dicker.
Aye.
Max Dowdle.
Aye.
Megan Kimball.
Aye.
Will Center.
Aye.
Virginia Smith.
Aye.
And Will Spoon.
Aye.
All right. Thank you all.
Hey, good work, y'all.
Okay.
Good night,
Good
everybody.
night, everybody.
Okay,
We're going.
see you later.